Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Megavision Show. Today is December the 15th, 2021. And joining me this week, if there was an award for being the guy who deserves the most awards, it'd be awarded to this guy. It's the very rewarding to be part of his life. It's Chris Powell.
It's too sweet, too kind, Graham. I love you.
Indeed. And if you don't know from that little intro, we'll be chatting about the Game Awards 2021 event. We'll talk about some of the winners, those game trailers, the many adverts, and yeah, with that, let's kick off the show. Yes, but before we get to that, Chris, is there a magazine update?
We have not one, but two updates in this one magazine update, Graham. This is like buy two for one, or you get one for two. I don't know, but hey, we have some updates. Let me share the screen right quick. Let's see how this works.
Let's get this going. Let's get this bad boy rolling. Let's make that bigger.
So check this out. And so this is our cover reveal for issue 2. Sketchcraft finished this up yesterday, like late last night, sent it over. And wow, this is an amazing piece. I'm really excited to do this because it's Psychonauts 2 on our cover. And we have a lot of coverage on Psychonauts and Double Fine in this issue. But Graham, I want you to take a look at it. Is there anything else you can see beyond our main character here? Are there any other little treats you spot in this?
I see someone who I don't think is from Psychonauts. It looks like the guy from Brutal Legend. I forgot.
You're right.
Jack Black's character. I can't remember his name now. But yes, he's got
Eddie Riggs.
Eddie Riggs. Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I love about Sketchcraft's work is that he always puts little other characters and Easter eggs, and he's got great detail, and I love it. And this is another great piece that he did, and so we love working with him, and I think he does. He gives a great just artistic design to the magazine. It's the first thing people see when they pick up our magazine, and so it's very important. And so we're really excited about this. We're also, but before there's another thing I want to show before we get to that. I do want to just say that everything's on track. We're doing great for issue 2. We're on track for a February release. I think we announced that a week or two ago. But we've been working a lot behind the scenes since we released issue 1 a few months back, just to try to get our processes in order. And we've been working really hard, and we have been able to get, basically efficiencies in place and our processes down. So the goal is to keep our basically our deadlines and our schedule quarterly throughout this year. And then, have some big plans going forward. Next, I guess that would be 2023 then, but, so yeah, it's all great. I'm really excited, but looking at this piece, there's a reason that it has Psychonauts 2, but also some other Double Fine characters, because in this issue, we have a review on Psychonauts 2, but not only that, we have a retrospective on Double Fine as a company, which is really exciting. And it not only goes into the games that they've released, but also the history in the company, some of the key figures who've kind of come and gone throughout the company to kind of help them get where they are today. It's a really great piece. And one of the things I love is being able to put great art, which we have here with Sketchcraft's piece, with a really awesome article, a feature piece. And I think that combines to make a really good magazine, when we can do things like that. And so that's really what we're trying to do with every article. Everything we put in there is just do everything to a high level and as high of a standard as we can. So I'm happy to see how this issue's shaping up, and I hope our readers will end up liking it. So be sure to check it out. You can. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I just said awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
I'm glad. That's not it. That's
that's
not
it.
the only update.
What?
No, don't. So I want to show something else. So we have been working with our buddy James Taccio from at GG Dreamcast to get some new product shots for our website, for the web store, the mega store, as we like to call it. So I'm going to go here. What I'm showing is issue 1 of Megavisions. And what he's done is taken some really neat shots, artistic style shots that show the magazine, but also a bunch of different controllers spread around. And the idea is just kind of give a visual communication of that we cover stuff from all eras, retro, Sega, all sorts of stuff. But then beyond that, we have some neat colored shots. The idea is just to give it a nice distinction between the physical version of the magazine and the digital version of the magazine on the website. So going forward, we'll see more of these as we release more issues. So I just wanted to kind of point that out and say thanks to James again at GG Dreamcast for doing these. Actually, working earlier today, Graham, I was transcribing a really cool interview that we're going to be posting onto the website, and it's also a larger portion is going to be published in next issue, but I haven't really announced anything on that yet. So
okay,
maybe next week we'll talk more on that.
Awesome.
But as I was doing that, I was listening to James' the GG Dreamcast YouTube page, and I was listening to some really cool like chill Dreamcast tunes that he has on there. It's great music to have while you're working. I loved it. So go check that out at GG Dreamcast. He's on all the different socials. So check him out.
Yeah, check him out. He's good guy. Good buddy. Yeah. Awesome. So is that the end of the magazine updates from our side?
Yes, for this week. I'll have more next week, I promise.
Cool. Awesome. Well, with that, let's move on to what we've been doing. So how our week's been going, what we've been playing, what we've been watching. Chris, I'll let you keep the conversation flowing, buddy. What have you been up to?
So, you know, Graham, how there's those shows that are either made in the UK and they have their own version, and then there's a US version, or maybe another region, they'll create their own version of that show. And sometimes they're better, sometimes they're worse. Like, I mean, for The Office, you could say that the original was the UK version, and the US one was better. I think a lot of people would probably agree.
I agree with that, and I'm English, and yeah, I'll probably get shot for saying that on the street, but yeah, the American version is better. Let's face it. From season 2 onwards, brilliant show.
But what happens though when you go to watch a new show and you don't realize that there's 2 versions of that show, and a friend of yours told you, "Hey, this show is great. You're gonna love it." And you generally like the same kind of things, so you believe that friend, right? And you go and watch it, and that's exactly what happened to Jamie and I this past week. We started watching this show called Ghosts.
Okay.
And a friend of us told us about it. It's basically, I'll give you a quick synopsis. It's a young couple, they don't buy it. She is what do you call it when you get handed something down? Inherited. Thank you. Yeah, she inherits this house. It's a big old mansion. It's kind of in disrepair, but they have this idea that they could like turn it into kind of like a bed and breakfast or something. But the problem is that it's haunted by all these ghosts. Okay. And there's like 7 or 8 of these ghosts, and it's all people who had either lived there or died on the property at some time throughout time. And it ranges from a caveman to a politician who, and the funny thing too is that when you die, whatever you were wearing, like when you die, that's what your ghost also is wearing. And so this politician somehow died with his pants down. I think he was probably having and so you could see it right there. But and so now he just walks around with his pants off, and he has just his boxer briefs and stuff. And it's just hilarious the type of things that can happen. But anyway, we start watching the show, and we get like halfway through it, and I'm like, this show is not very good. I not like this at all. And Jamie, she's like, yeah, this kind of sucks. We finished the first episode, and she's like, you know what? I bet we might be watching the wrong episode. And sure enough, we were. We were watching the US version,
Oh, no.
which I guess came out afterwards because we found that the UK version, I think that's on HBO Max.
Okay.
That version has like 3 seasons or something. And we started watching that show, and it was immediately better. Like, it was I love all of the characters for the ghosts. They all have such unique, like, funny personalities. And what's best about it, each episode's only 30 minutes long. And so for us, like, we are pretty much done with our night finally around like 9:30. But by then we're completely like toast. We get up really early. So we usually go to bed around 10:30, maybe even earlier. So if we can get an episode or maybe 2 episodes sneak this in, that's great. It's been really funny. I definitely suggest you guys check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd never heard of that. Before your description and the trailer I just sort of showed everyone. Yeah, that looks really cool. That sounds like right up my alley. Yeah, I don't know. I've never said anyone who's in the UK. It's on the BBC, so it's going to be on BBC iPlayer. So I'm going to check it out on there, I think. Yeah, cool, awesome. What else? What else have you been up to? What else are you watching?
Graham, well, I don't even want to talk about anything else that I've been watching because I've been watching a lot. But
okay.
Because I think this next thing is just going to take too much time.
Right, let's do it.
I will admit, Graham, here and now, that Halo Infinite has completely consumed me. I am now. I find myself waking up at like 4:00 in the morning, and I wake up and I'm thinking, if I get up right now, I could like play Halo for about an hour and a half before anyone else gets up, because we get up pretty early. And that's what I've been doing. I've been like waking up at 4:00 and just playing Halo, the campaign. And oh my God, dude, I'm having so much fun with this campaign. And what I've been doing is I've been putting so much of my upgrades into the grappling hook. And this game makes it so much fun to just traverse around the environment. So I basically feel like I'm playing a Spider-Man game at this point. Because I've got my cooldown on my grappling hook to like 40% less now, and so I can basically climb any like mountainous region or get anywhere that I'm supposed that, or even when I'm not supposed to. I've been able to find like ways to do that. So I guess we just go back to explain what this campaign is and like how it's different than past Halo games, because Graham, you've been playing a little bit too, but this is like the first, I guess, truly open world Halo game that we've had, where it feels like, I guess, kind of like a Far Cry type game, where you can look at your map, you can find objectives it can range from having to go help some troops that are, under fire, or going and freeing like a forward operating base, which is exactly the same kind of stuff that you do in Far Cry and all those other games. So from that standpoint, like I'm not seeing that it does anything like drastically different than all these other open world, first person, action games like that. But it's doing it in the Halo trappings, and it's doing it really, really well. And I think going back to what I said earlier is like, I think one of the most important things to make one of these open world type games a lot of fun is because a lot of times the maps are so big, you have to make getting around those things fun and fast.
Yeah.
Whereas like Far Cry, they do a great job because they'll let you get in planes and all this crazy stuff that you can fly around, and it's just crazy, Whereas like, Halo kind of restricts that because it's more grounded in, science fiction, I guess, reality, in this scope. But the addition of the grappling hook is single-handedly like the coolest thing to make this open world Halo work, I think, because I'm just shooting that thing all around, and like it's almost like I can slingshot myself, and it makes it just going around so much more fun. You do have fast travel, between fobs and things like that, but I don't even care, and I don't even get into any of the vehicles very often because it's just so much fun just to run around. And I think I tweeted earlier today that Halo Infinite is like the best Spider-Man game of this generation.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with it overall. I will say though, because this is how I've always started every Halo game, is I always start the campaign on normal, and then I like to replay it on each difficulty, stepping up to eventually get to like legendary, which is a lot of fun. And you and I have completed the legendary modes on several Halo games throughout the years together. But I will say though that the normal difficulty seems way too easy. Like, to the point where I just am like, I feel like it's just, there's sometimes not enough challenge from basic enemies. Like the brutes, I'll shoot them with a barrel rifle like 2 or 3 times in the head. They're dead. I'm like, that's crazy. And that's not how it was certainly in past Halo games, I'm sure. But I don't know if it's just to maybe, you also got to consider the fact that like those other Halo games, I guess, were a much more linear, and you probably wanted to keep you didn't want the player to progress as fast in the level. Whereas now that it's an open world game, that restriction isn't necessary, or that's not necessary in like something that is as big of an issue maybe as it was in the past one. So now they've lowered that to keep combat faster or something. I don't know if that's what it was, but the difficulty from that standpoint certainly seems lowered. So I don't know if I tried to go into the settings and change that, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So Elliot was telling me that he thinks you have to just restart a whole new fucking campaign, which I hope not. I hope that's not the truth. And I also saw that apparently like people have been upset because there's not a standard like campaign selection like you can in other Halo games. But I can see how it's harder to do that with this. There's a lot.
What do you mean by standard campaign selection? I don't really understand.
So, back in the other Halo games, you could, after you've replayed campaigns, you could go through and replay them again.
Oh, the missions and stuff.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, okay.
Yes, but because this is a completely kind of different game, essentially, it's not built the same way. It's not structured the same way, I should say, from a progression standpoint in the campaign. It's an open world game, and so there's multiple different factors. I mean, so I don't know how that works. Maybe they could just do like an old password code, from back in the day, like a 19 character password you got to input. Maybe that's the answer. To go forward, we have to go in the past.
Oh my god!
But yeah, what are you thinking so far about it, man? I've been having a lot of fun with it, like I said.
So I guess I'll go into my sort of what I've been up to lately. So the other day, it was actually my birthday. And because it's so close.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. Because it's quite close to Christmas. Kate lovingly bought me an Xbox Series S. Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right.
So it's a birthday and Christmas present. I did want to get the Xbox Series X. I can't, though. You literally can't get it. Like, it's literally impossible to get hold of one of those things. I mentioned on the show a few weeks ago, I had an opportunity very briefly that a shop kind of semi-close to me, about an hour's drive away, had 3 in stock. By the time I basically left my house, they'd sold out. They sold out within like 15 minutes or something. It was ridiculous. So, yeah. It's
I will
basically
say this. Oh, go ahead. Keep playing.
No, what were you going to say? What were you saying? Will you say this?
I was just going to say, I own an S and I absolutely love it. I will say, and I don't know if I was saying on the podcast a few weeks ago, if that's the same one, but I think it's one of the best deals for like what you get in return, in tech these days, because it's what, $299. I don't know what that.
I think it's 204
US.
It's £249 in the UK. I think that's how much it was.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like half the price of a PS5 or a Series X, basically.
Sure. I don't remember what the technical difference is, between the two, but dude, it's such a great little device. I love Series S. And dude, Halo Infinite looks amazing running on that game. I will say though, I switched because there's a quick option between performance and I think quality.
Yeah.
And I have performance set, and then I changed it to quality, and it, like, you could immediately see like the change in like
really?
the frames per second, and yeah, at least on the one I noticed, and I changed it back to performance, and it runs much better.
See, I've
It's
had
just-
it on quality when I've been playing. Ooh, interesting. Maybe I'll change it to performance and just see how different it is.
because I think performance is the default setting, I believe.
Yeah, I changed it to quality. I was like, I want to see the best. I want the best it can be because it runs really well. Like I've been playing on the S. I agree with you. I'm actually very impressed with the S. Like I know everyone says it's not as powerful. It's it's like the shit version, obviously, but it's not. It's actually a really cool console. From what I've played, or what I've briefly experienced of it, I'm loving it. And the thing is, I don't have a 4K TV or 4K display, so I don't need the extra, graphics, I guess, that you might get from like the Xbox Series X or PS5.
If you don't have a 4K TV, why are you setting it in performance or in quality mode?
Because I want to see what it looks like in quality mode. It seems to run really well.
Yeah, but it's going to still not look that great because you don't have it in 4K.
Fine.
So just put the shit in performance mode.
I am going to change it to performance mode and see what it looks like, see if it changes at all. You're right. That's a good point. Well made indeed, sir.
I could see a big difference. I think it's probably less. I would imagine the difference would be a lot less on a Series X. Mm-hmm. Between the two, just because it is, supposed to be a lot more powerful. But yeah, I love my S. And when I eventually get a Series X, I'm gonna put that in my main, living room. And the S is gonna come here into the studio. But I've also played a few of the missions on my Xbox One. Have you done any of that?
No, I haven't actually bothered, to be honest. No.
Yeah, I've been doing that, and it's running. It's put that in quality mode. See how that looks on your ghetto TV, right?
Nice. I will say just a few things that about the game. So I put quite a few hours into it now. I'm in a similar situation where basically I'll get up in the morning and be like, I could play Halo for 20 minutes or half an hour before work and stuff. Like it's one of those things that. This is one game that, like, I was very excited for it when it first came out. But it actually has been a game that I've just actually been like, I really want to play this game. And when the thing is, when I first put it in and first played it, there's basically an opening sort of mission, basically, where you're on a ship trying to escape the ship before you get onto the Halo ring. And when you come out into the Halo ring, it's like you got to clear a FOB, like a forward operating base of enemy soldiers, and it's like, oh yeah, go and unlock all these things and like go and do this. I was worried it's going to fall into the trap of being an open world game where it's just like very shallow, kind of fun but still kind of shallow, because there's so many open world games out there that are like that. Mm-hmm. But very soon after, I realized it's not like that. I love the way they've incorporated the actual main storyline and stuff, and like how it progresses and takes you around the open world map, as it were. The cutscenes are fantastic. The acting's brilliant. The story, I'm really digging the story so far. Like, it's really drawn me in.
Can we talk about how awesome the grunts are in this? I mean, they're the best they've ever been in any Halo game. And in fact, it's funny because Odin, I've actually been getting Odin into Halo. Because he started watching me play over the weekend, and I gave him, because I'm not super far into the campaign, but I will say, I'm trying to say, have you gotten to the first Spire?
Yes, I've done the first. Yeah, I think I've done the first Spire now.
So I think we're probably, are you too far after that?
Not too far. I basically got to a point where, so here's what happened to me. You're talking about like traversing the world. Right. I got to a point where they actually flew some banshees at me, and I grappling hooked onto a banshee, kicked the guy out of it, and just started flying around. I was like, oh yeah. But I was like flying around. I was covering so much ground so quickly and easily. I was like, this is kind of ruining the game for me. And I got out of the banshee and started driving around a little mongoose. Like, actually a gun goose. I was using one with the guns on it. So I was like, cool. I just want to go around and like, so yeah. I'm not too far past it in the actual terms of storyline, but yeah, it was awesome.
It sounds like we're about around the same place, but yeah. So I was telling Odin the story to get him caught up, and he was just like, "Man, Halo is crazy."
Yeah,
and so he's been wanting to watch and play it, and so now we're planning to play through some of the older games together. But one of his favorite thing is going up to those the grunt propaganda towers and just listening to the things that they say. They are so funny.
Yeah.
I honestly I want to find out who are some of the writers behind this and who wrote some of that dialogue, because it's brilliant. Some of the stuff that they say are so great, and it's even funny too because they'll talk if when they kill you, they'll talk about like how they're getting some like reward, or and they'll say their name, and even when the grunts kill you, it's the best because they're just like, wait, what? Did that happen?
Yeah.
Great, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, I love it. It's such a fun game. This is actually probably the best FPS, or the most fun I've had with an FPS game since Far Cry 3. And they're kind of quite similar games. They're both open world games, but they both nailed the balance between open world and story progression. Because Far Cry 3 for me had one of the best story progressions and storylines I've ever had in a first person shooter. Like, it really drew me in. I felt like I was in this island world basically where I was trapped there and I had to try and escape, and there's a mad guy like trying to take me down and stuff. So yeah, Halo so far has been kind of not quite a similar experience, but the way they've told the story progression stuff, it's really cool. There are a couple of things I do want to touch on. So I think the vehicle controls and the vehicle weights, or physics I guess, are really weird and floaty and light now, because I keep tipping over the warthogs and the mongooses, and even like the ghosts and stuff, like the ones that hover along the ground. I keep flipping them over. I'm like, I've never crashed this so many times in Halo.
Maybe it's because the Halo ring has a different gravitational pull now.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's that.
I thought that they felt very similar to me. Like I like the floatiness. I will say, oh man, the one thing that's freaking me out about this game, and maybe it's because my TV, I'm so close to it and it's so big, but when I jump down like far, because there's no fall damage, right? And so you could jump from like hundreds of feet high. I sometimes get the sensation that I'm falling, and it freaks me out. And so there's times where I have to jump down, and I'll look away from it. It gives me like the feeling like I'm going down a roller coaster, and I hate roller coasters.
Oh no!
I'll ride them, but I get a very bad, I get paranoid. I get a lot of anxiety and stuff. But that it's making me feel that, and it's freaking me out sometimes. I don't know if anyone else out there feels that, but holy crap, it freaks me out. But man,
one of my favorite moments that I've had is like, when you create your own little moment in a game. It's there's that mission with the massive, I guess what are they called, anti-aircraft guns, the massive ones. We have to go up and destroy them and stuff. It was the last one of those I went to, and I'd actually taken a ghost up in the little thing, like in the little what's it called, anti-gravity lift or whatever. I was like, will this work? I went up in it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And basically, when the thing was starting to explode and stuff, like one of the doors like leads to an exit, and I basically like blasted my way out of that, like full like with the boost on the thing, and I didn't really know where it's shooting me out of, but I basically flew off the mountain. I was just like, it was like you say, it was like one of those weird sensations where you genuinely feel like you're falling. I was like, oh shit. I just like, I think I did a game capture of it, because I was just like, and just kept falling, and then I landed and sort of skidded, and there's a bit of a crash at the end, but I didn't die. And I was just like, that was insane. You turn around and you see the gun just exploding like hundreds of meters up in the air. You're like, whoa.
It's impressive how they have been able to create like cinematic set pieces in this open world game. It's very good, and it's not FMV, it's all stuff happening in real time in the game. So that's great. I will just say though that don't try to keep adding all these like new Spartan abilities in the game. I'm not going to use anything other than the grappling hook. Nothing else is happening here.
I've been dabbling in all the other ones. I've actually fully upgraded my grappling hook, but I've been using the weird shield thing you drop up, down and stuff, and the sensor thing. The sensor thing I love. I love it. It's so handy.
I only just want to be Spider Chief and just live my life as Spider Chief and just sling around, the Halo ring and all that. So, the storyline also is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying all that. it's just a great game so far, man. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So.
I will say one thing before the game came, or the day the game came out or something. I read a review online, and it's from a writer. I can't really remember his name. It was on a reputable website, and they were saying stuff about the storyline and some negatives about it, and what they said wasn't true. If that makes sense. Like I was reading it, because they were basically talking about how. Basically, the main enemies you're fighting in it are remnants of the old Covenant forces, the Banished, basically. Yes. The Banished, yeah. So there's mostly brutes, but they've also got some grunts and elites and stuff, a bit like the Covenant. And they're like, yeah, they're the only enemy in the game, and it's a bit disappointing to see that they're the only enemy. Like, literally within the first hour or so, you find out they're not the only enemy. Like, it's like... I was just like reading it. I read it and I was like, oh, well, that's a bit of a shame, but I'm still going to play the game. I played it and like within an hour, I was like, that's not even true. Like they clearly haven't played the game. And they were just sort of saying, oh yeah, there's a lot of, taking over the forward operating bases and, grinding work. They said it's really good fun, but yeah, it feels like the storyline's not quite there. The storyline's one of the best Halo storylines I've been in. I'm like, these guys have not played this is just one of those annoying things that often happens. Like, Don't trust the reviews out there. Although I do trust them. Most of them have been really positive, so I don't read that.
I haven't read any of the reviews, so I wouldn't know. I saw that it was getting a lot of high review scores, so that really was good. But I didn't read any of the stuff. I just didn't want any of the campaign to be spoiled at all, so I just stayed away. But I've. No spoilers here. We're not gonna.
That's
enough Halo. We'll talk more because it'll be interesting. We're close to the same spot, and I want to see next week where we're at.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do loads of the side missions. I think now because I just really want to go around and do stuff. But yeah, it's so much fun. You're right. It's so much fun to explore. I'm just going to say it. This is probably my favorite Halo experience since the original one, because the original Halo blew my mind back in the day. It was so impressive for its time. This is equally impressive to me. Like, I know there've been other open world games out there, but this is so much fun. I'm just loving it. Yeah. So that's my final thing on that. Yeah.
All right. Anything else? It's your. Do we? I don't know if we officially put it over to you, but have you?
I mean, there's one other thing that I've been playing, which I was going to initially talk about, but then we spoke about Halo, so that's brilliant. But I've actually finally really started playing The Witcher 3 as well, which is I've owned it for a couple of years. I've had it on Xbox and stuff. I've never got into a Witcher game in the past. Like, I genuinely, I played Witcher 1 on PC. I played Witcher 2 on Xbox 360 when it first came out. Witcher 3 came out. I owned that on the Xbox One. Even Witcher 3, I didn't really enjoy on Xbox One. I got past the first opening, I guess the tutorial area of the game. And I was like, it's okay. I just wasn't really enjoying it. But randomly...
You say, wait, this is the first... you said that was Witcher 3 you played a bit of?
So yeah, I played a bit of Witcher 1. I just did enjoy it. Witcher 2, I remember playing for about 2 hours and going, I just don't like this game. I'm just like, I'm not enjoying this. Witcher 3, again, I played for a good hour, a couple of hours, like the opening area of the game. And again, I got to like the next bit. I sort of did one mission and I was like, I'm done. I don't care. I just don't care. I just one of those things that's like, I don't care. But I picked it up on the Switch. And like it was really cheap. There's like a sale on at Christmas or whatever. So I was like, yep, I'm going to, or Black Friday or whatever it was, because Christmas hasn't come yet. So anyway, I picked it up and I was like, oh, I'll give it another try. Partly because Kate was watching the Witcher TV series on Netflix. And I was like,
of course she is. Just like my wife is eagerly awaiting to see Henry Cavill on her TV somewhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's what was happening. But yeah, I was like, I might try playing the game again. So I got it. And I really got into it. I don't know what happened. Suddenly, like something clicked in my brain. I was like, I'm enjoying this. I'm like really getting into it.
I'm enjoying a good game.
Yeah, apparently this game is actually good. But I will say, I still think sometimes the controls are janky, like annoying. Like there's really fiddly at times when you're just trying to like click on something, like mount your horse, for example, or you'll be in combat and like Geralt will be like doing his spinny thing with his swords and twirling around. And then suddenly he'll lock onto a different enemy and spin around and try and get them. But he's too far away from the other enemy. And the enemy I'm trying to fight is like really close and suddenly hits me. And it's like, Like those sort of things annoy me. I think that's what pissed me off when I first started playing originally. But I've kind of,
I mean, there is some of that like jankiness of the game, but dude, the combat is built so well. I think it's so super smooth. I love it's a fun to engage in combat in that game. They give you a lot of different abilities and ways to approach combat, and you can mix them all in. And I love the story, dude. Witcher 3 is my favorite game of that whole generation.
Okay.
It really is. I've had more fun with that than any other the game, and there's just so much content. There's so much to do in that game. I haven't even finished it all the way. There's so much stuff there. I would love to jump back into it. I would actually like to give the Switch version a try. I can't imagine it runs all that great on it.
This is the amazing thing. It actually runs really well, because I remember that's what all the reviews were saying. They're like, somehow they put Witcher 3 on Switch and it's amazing. Like, I mean, visually you do see a bit more pop-up and stuff, and maybe it's not quite as much detail on some of the screen in some areas, but it actually looks good still. It looks like a very good game, and it runs really well. Like, there's no I haven't experienced any slowdown so far. Apparently all the content's there. Like, there's nothing missing from the game. The version, I just downloaded the main version, which has the expansion packs as well. It just all seems to be there. And I'm very, very much enjoying it. I don't know what else to say. Although Halo Infinite has completely consumed my life now, so I'm not going to play Witcher 3 for a while.
I will say, though, that you were wrong. You should have kept playing the Xbox version, because that would have been probably a better experience.
I mean, it probably would be, but I've got so much further on the Switch version. I'm not going to go back to the Xbox version anytime soon.
I don't. But that's what happened to me, because I had the PS4 version, and then I think I bought the remastered version on Xbox. And so I wanted to play it on that, but then I had all my save. Originally, my PS4 version is the one I got really far in, and so I've still not figured out how I'm going to approach that. So I just decided I'm not going to play it at all until I figure it out.
I will say, for any listeners or watchers, if you've been playing Witcher 3 on PC, either Steam or GOG, you can transfer your saves to the Switch version. There's actually an option to do cloud. Cool. So you can, if you've got any cloud saves on Steam or GOG, it will transfer to the Switch. Annoyingly, I don't have that because I haven't been playing on the Steam, but so that's quite a cool feature. I was like, annoyingly, they don't connect to Xbox Live cloud saves, but
Yeah. Well, that's kind of neat. So.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little feature. But yeah, Witcher 3, really good. Really enjoying it. Like a 3-year-old game now, or whatever it is. It's probably longer than that. It's like, was it 2016 or something it came out?
Oh, yeah, it's been released longer than that.
God, it's like 5 years old. Whoa, yeah.
It's been out there. I mean, it's going to be one of those games that... Have they announced like a 4K remaster version of that yet?
Oh, they probably have. They probably
Xbox,
have. Actually, I think you can... there is an Xbox S, Series X, and S enhanced version, I think. So
okay, yeah,
I don't know if it's remastered, but yeah, I think it's just the enhanced version. Okay. But but Halo Infinite, that's the one right now for me. I'm actually so impressed with this. Yeah, because I think other Halo games have had some, like, they've been good, they've been fun, but they haven't been amazing, if that makes sense. Whereas this one has amazed me. I'm like, whoa.
I think what they've done is they've taken away all the stuff from the past few games that people didn't like.
Yeah.
They kept the good stuff, and they added some necessary mechanics and abilities that make for bringing Halo in from what it was like a linear FPS into an open world sandbox style game, and adding the grappling hook is the greatest invention in video game history. Let's just say that right now.
Yeah. Oh, there's something I was meant to mention when you were talking about it at the start. This is technically the second open world Halo game, because Halo ODST was technically an open world game. You're walking around a city, basically. But this does feel like a proper, more open world campaign, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think people are saying, though, this is the first true. I think that's how it's kind of built. But Anyway,
let's move on. Oh, hello everybody. Welcome back. Yes, we are going into our feature discussion this week, which is all about the Game Awards. And Chris, you watched this? Did you or did you not?
I did. Good. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it in about 14 to 21, maybe 5-minute blocks to be able to finish it. But I watched it all. Yeah, I finished it all up. Overall, man, I have to say, before we get into specific moments, overall, I was thoroughly impressed with the show. I think they just did a really good job. There was some in the stream that I was watching the GameSpot stream. There were some moments where the sound would cut out at certain times. I don't know if that was just for my stream or if it was other ones, but that was an issue. I assumed it was just my stream. But overall, just from a quality of the games that were shown, I think these next couple of years are going to be very fantastic. There was some truly, for me, breathtaking games that were shown that I felt like, holy crap, this is the next generation of games. This is truly feels like, okay, I'm there now. The PS5 and the Series X and S, this is what is really those games that are really doing those series or those consoles justice, I think, and at least give you a bigger reason why you should spend the money on them if you can get them. That is. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought overall it was really great. I thought Jeff Keighley did a tremendous job. I don't have too many criticisms. I was just overall happy, and I think they did a good job at showing why the Game Awards should be here. I think they did a good job saying there should be a kind of a premier Game Awards show for the game industry, and I think he's done a good job to show that this should be that, and I think an annual show that awards greatness and excellence in various categories in the industry is absolutely worthwhile, because every other film and TV and music, they all have them. The video game should as well. But I think the cool thing about it that makes, the Game Awards different is that they also, in addition to all the awards, is they put in these great reveals and game trailers and stuff. So it makes it, for me, I think these award shows are way more exciting than, some the Grammys or the Oscars or whatever, you're watching. So this stuff is good, I think. And I'm happy it's going to continue. So that's my overall thoughts. I'm going to have some positive things to say.
Okay. So I don't know if I should say this at the end or say it now, but I'll say it now. It's great because you've done your overview piece. Watching this reminds me of why I generally dislike award ceremonies. I'm literally the polar opposite for you on this. So it's not just game awards. It's also movies or music or whatever. I genuinely don't care about most of what's happening. I don't care about most of the winners, most of the little skits they do. When presenter comes on, they had is it Simi Liu or something? The guy who did Shang-Chi and was also in Kim's Convenience. Right. His little piece. I really like him as a guy and an actor. I just thought that was it's very phoned in. Just his little bit when he's introducing the Game Award thing. It's I get what he's doing. Yes, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, I was I don't really care. It felt really cringy to me. Though?
I saw that, and I agree. His bit was not very good, but I think what's important, because there's some other ones too. I think Paul George was on it. He's an NBA player. He just kind of read his lines and kind of monotonely walked off. I'm sure these people are paid to be there, but beyond that, I think they do it. I think because they like games, I think they want to be associated with it and stuff. And so I think that's kind of cool that it's, that in their way that they're lending some more credence to this show by, their celebrity and they want to be there. But I agree, his bit wasn't very good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame them for being there at all. Whether they're gamers or not. I believe he is actually a gamer. I mean, from what I know about him, he is a gamer and stuff, which is cool. Him being there didn't surprise me. I wasn't oh my God, why did they get him in here? I was I like him. I think he's cool. But I just didn't
They didn't have anyone on there where you felt like, okay, this, this person's fake, or this person, this person's not really, giving genuine lines. You know what I mean? Because at least like a lot of the writing that they gave for these people was believable enough that you could see that they, might say that, or that they might believe that at least. Where it's not like back in the day where they'd have these like silly, celebrities or comedians that would come on and just crack stupid jokes and make fun of the industry and stuff like that. It's not like that anymore. Where I can't remember that one douchebag they had, the guy from Scream. Remember him?
Which douchebag from Scream? I don't know.
Yeah, which one? There's so many of them, right? Yeah. Anyway, I won't even go there. But
the thing about this award ceremony is the thing I didn't give a shit about, and you didn't say this, but what you were talking about gave me credence to what I'm saying. Basically, the bit I didn't care about were the awards. Literally didn't give a shit about them. The game trailers for the next games coming out, those were the cool bits. That was awesome. And that's like almost like, that's basically kind of what like E3 and shit used to be back in the day. I mean, I know people used to play games beforehand, but like you used to get the presentations where they show you this is the cool stuff that's coming out next year. Whereas, and it's almost like it's crossing that line between, is it an award ceremony or is it the announcement show basically? The announcements are awesome, but the awards, I was just like, literally don't care. Literally don't care about this. Like, if you're going to enjoy the game, fantastic, but I don't care.
Right. And I think you probably represent a lot of gamers out there. A lot of people, you probably represent a lot of the same opinion. But the thing is, though, that's why they need these game reveals, Graham, because that's how they get you to watch it. Otherwise, they know people, like you won't watch it. So they want to get you to watch it. So they put these game reveals and trailers and stuff in there.
I personally prefer it just to be like a half-hour show where they go, hey, here's the games that are coming out in like 2 years' time. Check it out.
But that's not the point, Graham. The point is not the trailers. The point is the game awards. That's literally the name of the show. That's the point.
But that's the thing I'm trying to say. What's the point in having a show about game awards if that's the bit that people don't want to watch? If you're saying that I represent a lot of the people who watch this, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't.
You represent a segment of the demographic that they want to watch the show.
Right. Okay.
There are plenty of people in the industry and out of the industry who watch it for the awards because you don't personally like them. I'm sure there's tons of people out there that do.
There probably are.
But my point is,
okay, no, there probably are. There probably are. Yeah.
But I think that's why I think that this is the way they have to build the show in the format that they're doing it in, by combining the awards aspect with the game trailers aspect and the reveals and some of the performances and things like that. Because that's how you get people to do that. And I think they probably do similar stuff in like the movie industry where they probably reveal like new trailers and stuff in commercials and things like that. But I get what you're saying. And I think what you're saying is like you would rather just watch the trailer stuff without any of the awards stuff and just be done with it.
Pretty much. Like I kind of, here's the thing. I respect all the game developers, the people involved in all this stuff. Like, I do kind of understand why there's an award ceremony because, some it's good to sort of show the accolades of the hard work that a lot of people have put into these games and stuff. It's brilliant. It's like with the movie industry, this is an amazing movie. It deserves an award. This deserves to be the movie of the year or the game of the year or whatever it is, or the artwork or art direction in this game is so amazing. There's just needs to be an accolade behind this, and getting nominated is also a good accolade as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just like, I think it's me. I completely understand. I'm not the full representation.
I think you're also, and I think that in some ways, you may not have been playing a lot of these games and stuff too. A lot of the modern games that have been releasing. And so you may not have as much interest in the developers and the games winning as you would have maybe in years past when you were playing more games at the time. And
possibly
you kind of know of those games. But anyway, let's get beyond that. Let's get into some fun stuff.
But very differing opinions there, I quite like. But But okay,
let's see how our opinions are going to differ on our top 5,
yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Graham.
so yeah, for the audience, what we're going to do, we're not going to go through all the games or anything like that because that's going to take too long. And just go and check it out on YouTube. You can find it, or another blog post or something. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go through our 5 top, I guess, moments or our top games or whatever of the show. We're going to go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1 being the best. So yeah, who wants to start off? Chris, do you want to start off, or?
I'll let you start off.
Let me start off. Okay, cool. So I am going to jump forward. So my number 5 moment, because I don't know if this is something that I just wasn't aware of or something, but I did not know this game was going to be announced or anything. This is, so I've got it playing in the background there, Star Trek Resurgence. Basically a new Star Trek game that's coming out, which it kind of, like, I was like, oh, this looks awesome. So, I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I know that's a kind of Telltale Games style game. So I couldn't get that out of my mouth just there. But set in the Star Trek universe. I mean, I really enjoy Star Trek stuff more so these days than I used to as a child and stuff. Like, I think I've got to the point where I actually prefer Star Trek to Star Wars. What a twist. I'd still love Star Wars, by the way, but yeah, I've enjoyed more Star Trek stuff over the years.
I would actually probably agree with that in some of the recent stuff. I've been getting into Star Trek too. So I completely forgot about this game though. This did look really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually, to be honest, I should probably checked out more facts about it, but I don't really know much more about it other than it's in Star Trek universe and it's very much a story driven game. Star Trek Resurgence.
Is it developed actually by Telltale?
No, because they've folded now, haven't they?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But it's, from what I know, it's Telltale Games style of game, if that makes sense, like a story-driven game. Maybe it's got some of the developers.
I was just wondering if it's yeah. That's what I was wondering if like some of the former dev teams.
Let me see if I can quickly whip up some info. Oh God.
But yeah. No, we don't have to. If you don't have the stuff, I'm ready to talk about my number 5.
It's basically a big sci-fi adventure. That's what I'm reading. But yeah, cool. What is your number?
It's basically
5?
Halo Infinite and Star Trek.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Everything is now Halo Infinite. That's what's happening.
I almost put this moment in here.
Ooh, okay.
You know what? I can fit it into my next one. Never mind. But okay. I'm gonna go. My number 5 moment is Sonic Frontiers.
Ooh,
let's load that up.
Let's load that bad boy. Here we go. Yeah. Lovely stuff. Yeah.
So we knew that this was going to be coming like a few days ago, or a few days before the Game Awards. There was some rumors and stuff going around, and I think Sega eventually kind of confirmed it. But I mean, they didn't show a lot here, but I was pretty. I don't know. I thought it looked good from the settings, because a lot of it is just CGI that we're seeing. You're not seeing like any gameplay, but you're seeing more of the locales that you're going to be visiting and things like that. And I thought that a lot of them look great. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been a lot of, like, on Twitter and social media, there's been a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog Breath of the Wild kind of comments and stuff, because it kind of has that Breath of the Wild open world vibe, obviously, and stuff. I think it looks gorgeous. I mean, I know a lot of this is, I guess, it could be CGI traders. There's some bits that do look like it could be in-game graphics, but yeah, I think it looks awesome. And this is kind of what I've wanted from a Sonic game for years, basically now. Like something that's more open world and more expansive and like a bit more free, because too many modern Sonic games are so linear in your gameplay and the levels and stuff. Like the original Sonic games, even though they were linear, like point A to point B, you had freedom of going up and down and back and like left and right and finding your own way through the level. And that's almost what I'm hoping from this. So it's almost like kind of like what we're doing with Halo. We're finding our own ways to complete missions because we can go anywhere basically and do that basically. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. I don't know, man.
That's what also kind of scares me about.
Oh,
this game,
really?
To be honest with you. I don't know, man. I don't know if I have the faith in Sonic Team to do this the right way. I don't know. I want it to be good. I don't know it, but I will say, from what I've seen, it's my number 5. So I'm not crapping on it. I think it looks good from just the kind of the style and some of the stuff, the aesthetic that they're going for, because that's really all we have to go from with this, right? I mean, we have a little bit of some more information about I forget what they're calling the area or the world that we're in this one. That's come out, but beyond that, I think this is the only like trailer that's come out since then. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the gameplay is gonna be like. I've seen other fan like projects that have been doing this. I think what we talked about last week, was it like Sonic Utopia was one of them, or
yes,
things like that.
Sonic Utopia had it was a single level Green Hill Zone, which was kind of open world, but there have been some other more open world ones which are bigger.
Yeah, I just can't remember the names of
them.
There were some. I played them, and there were some really, cool, concepts that they were dealing with, and showed that Sonic, I think, can work in this type of game. I don't know, man. I just don't know if Sonic Team's going to be able to pull it off. Is all. I mean, they haven't had a great track record in the last few games, but I want it to be good. So I'm cautiously optimistic. That's where I'm at with Sonic Frontiers right now. So I'm trending upwards on it.
So that is actually on my list of number 3 as of my reveals. So Sonic Frontiers was. So yeah, I'm very hyped for this game. I'm in the Sonic, the Sonic cycle. It's like, the Sonic game sucks. Oh my god, they've announced a new game. Is it going to be good? It's going to be amazing. Oh my god. And it's probably going to turn out to be not so good, but potentially this could be one that is good. I've got the faith. I've still got the faith. Oh man, how many times can we burn this? I've got the faith. But how many times can we be burned, Chris? Like, how many times?
Well, and that's another thing I was going to say is, hey, the Sonic community has been begging for this for how long now? So we're finally going to get it. And if it sucks, that's on you guys.
Yes.
Y'all been wanting it, so.
Yeah, I hope Sega turns around and does that. Like, if everyone goes, "Oh, this sucks," well, you asked for this. You buy it.
Exactly.
You wanted it, you take it. You love it. Oh man. So that's my number 4. My number 4 moment. So this is a game I've heard of, but like I don't know if I heard a leak or something, but I heard about it and then I saw the trailer. Like, this looks cool to me. So this is Forspoken, which was a bit weird because when they had the 2 of the lead actresses who are in the game on stage, revealing the trailer, they had so the main protagonist and also the main bad guy, I believe it is. Right,
yeah, that was kind of awkward exchange between them. But
yeah, I thought it was it was fine, I guess. Yeah, but it's weird because the actress who plays the main girl in it is English. And it seems like all the other voice actors in this are either English or are putting on English accents. But in the game, she's got an American accent. So I was like, what? That's really weird. Like, I don't know. I know you get English or American actors who do their voices vice versa for various reasons, but it just seemed like medieval style game, kind of like, I know it's got fancy magic and stuff in it. Like, it seems like the English accent would be quite fitting, especially if all the other characters are English, I guess. Like,
I wonder if there's some element to it that we don't know yet, that there could be like a reason for it. Like, maybe she's like current day, or and she got zapped back in the past or something.
Possibly, yeah. I think, because there's actually one of the cutscenes they show in this trailer where she does seem to be wearing very modern clothing. So I'm like, maybe so I don't really know the full story behind the game, so maybe that is something to do with it.
I will say though, I had no knowledge of this game, before I saw this trailer, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" It looks great. And looking more into it, finding the developers behind is Luminous Productions, which I didn't realize, but they are basically the development team that did Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, they're a subsidiary at Square, and that I was like, okay, that now it intrigues me even more. And I watched because they did release a 5 to 6 minute gameplay video yesterday or a few days ago, and I got to see that. It seems the cool thing about it, because this looks like a kind of an open world game as well, but you can traverse really quickly in the game. Like she's kind of like a witch, I guess. She's got all these spells and abilities. And what's neat is it seems like the way you cycle through some of your spells or incantations is you have different like fingernail designs, like literally like it looks like nail polish and other things like that. They have different, looks like ruins and other symbols and things like that on there. And it seems like that has some sort of relation to what your spells and things like that you're using. So there's a lot of cool things that play and neat mechanics that that's there. So I'm excited for this game. It's got a good studio behind it. They did Final Fantasy 15, which had an awesome combat system. I really enjoyed that. I mean, that was one of the first, games, I think, that was the first Final Fantasy game that brought that real time, I think, into the mainline series, I want to say. Right? And then they did it with because that was before the Final Fantasy 7 like remaster.
I feel like there was one on the PS2 which had some real time fighting in, but I've only played a handful of Final Fantasy games. They're not my type of games. And I'm pretty sure I had one on the PS2, which I vaguely remember playing and being like, this feels like real-time combat. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that, but I don't really know. I'm not an expert on Final Fantasy.
My point is, though, is that this team has, some quality development experience behind it. And so I think this is going to be a good game. So it's cool. I'm excited. Awesome. It looks awesome.
Brilliant. I just want to have a quick shout out to Avo Lee in the chat. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. He was saying he's with Graham and
wait, about what?
I think this is about the award stuff at the start when we were talking about that stuff. Like he was one of the things he was saying. Trailers do not represent gameplay and stuff. And he says, I'm with Graham. TTG exists, just a lot more minor. TTG. I don't know what that is actually. Anyway, awesome. Hey, buddy. Shall we move on to your number 4?
Oh, yes. My number 4 is, we'll stick with on the Sonic hype train, is Sonic the Movie 2. Before we get into the trailer, though, like I want to talk a little bit about this Ben Schwartz and how awesome he was in this bit, because that was hilarious. Like his whole opening with the CD and the call, I genuinely was laughing. He got me there.
Yeah, actually,
and then it led to one of the most Jim Carrey moments that you'd ever see, because I guess he was going to be there, or that's how they said it, but he submitted a video, and it's like he just is like, saying like, oh, he's kind of announcing that they're going to do the trailer, so they're leading to that. But then he talks about, he's like, oh, I want to tell you this word of advice that my Irish grandfather once gave me. And he's like, don't grade it in the grader. And it just gets steadily more insane and psychotic as it goes. And man, I love Jim Carrey so much. He's so full of energy and excitement all the time. And I love that. I was cracking up laughing. I've shown so many people just that one video since then. I want everyone to see it.
Yeah,
but that was great. I thought that was such a funny lead.
Yeah, I did like it was the bit when Ben Schwartz was like, holding up the DVD going, I've got the trailer for the new Sonic movie here, and he's like, well, it's not actually on this because no laptop has a DVD player on it anymore, so this is just a blank DVD basically. I was like, that's so true. It's so true. But yeah, and again they went in to show the trailer. Now I didn't watch the Game Awards live, but I saw the trailer before I saw the Game Awards video, if that makes sense. I think they basically put out the trailer straight away afterwards or whatever.
Probably.
But yeah, I love the first movie. I think Scotty didn't enjoy it so much. But I really enjoyed it.
I think he really didn't like the I forget her name, the wife's sister. He thought she was really annoying, but it looks like she's back again. So I saw her and I immediately thought of Scotty. I was like, yes. But I knew Scotty was like, ah.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the trailer.
I loved it. I think it's really cool. This actually got me really excited. I think it's going to be a really good movie. I hope it is, at least, because the first one surprised me of how much I enjoyed it. Like, I know when it came out, lots of people were like, it's a really good movie. I was like, is it though? And then I saw it because it came out just as COVID was really hitting, and it came out in the cinemas over here. But it was like literally just as we were having lockdown, so I couldn't go to the cinema to watch it. And it ended up coming up on like, Microsoft Store or something on my Xbox. I was like, I'm just going to buy it and watch it. And I was like, that was so worth it. Like for £15 or whatever I spent on it, like, which is, full DVD Blu-ray price these days. I was like, that was awesome. So yeah, and this looks really good. And I love what they've done with the Knuckles reveal as well. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that like the first movie really... It felt almost kind of like a prequel in a way of just kind of getting the whole thing started, because it really was of kind of just a kind of a buddy cop style movie, like a buddy adventure movie with Sonic in it, and then you had, because even Robotnik really wasn't Robotnik until really the very end, just visually, like looking at him, he didn't look like Robotnik. Whereas now with the sequel, like we don't have to do all that stuff. Like it's, Robotnik is back and he looks maniacal and as crazy as ever. We have Tails right from the get-go, and then you have Knuckles coming in. And so I feel like now the movie in the kind of world features so many characters that it's truly going to feel like a Sonic film now. It's not going to feel like a movie, an adventure film that Sonic just happens to be in. It's going to feel like this is truly, like Sonic and his pals and, fighting Robotnik. And I think that from that perspective, I'm really excited to see where they're kind of going to continue to take the series. I thought it was great hearing Idris Elba's Knuckles. And I love the fact that everyone on Twitter blew up and was like, I thought he said he wasn't going to do the sexy voice. He's lying. So great. I love it. Oh, man. Yeah. So it sounds like they have such a good cast. And I forget the actor doing Tails. They mentioned that person, but Tails sounds perfect. Is that the original? Is that also the original Tails voice actor? I can't remember. I'm terrible with the names of all of them, but they sounded great as well. I'm excited for what this cast is going to be able to do with, I think, more fun material to work with now that you've got Robotnik completely crazy and all the stuff that they can do there.
She's the voice of Tails since 2014 in the Sonic franchise.
What's her name? We should mention her name.
Colleen O'Shaughnessy, I'm going to guess.
O'Shaughnessy. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to make sure we gave her credit for that. So no, they all sound great. I like I said, I'm excited for this series. I think if this movie could continue to build on this momentum that they have with Sonic, and more people continue to watch it, I'm hoping that we could get a third movie potentially. And who do you think they would introduce at the end of this one? Because now I'm hoping they could do that. Would it be?
I really hope it's Big the Cat. Are they going to
show Metal Sonic?
It got to be Big the Cat. I'm a Big the Cat fan. I thought his bits in Sonic Adventure were great. I love the fishing. I love Froggy. Bring back Big the Cat.
You know what? They do enough. Like, that movie is self-aware enough that I could see them doing a reference, or at a minimum, like a reference or something like that. But no, I would love to see maybe like Metal Sonic coming in or something like that. That would be
cool. Yeah, like Metal Sonic would be cool. Seeing him come in.
Because I assume that we're going to, at some point, Knuckles is going to turn into a good guy. There's something,
maybe he doesn't. That's the twist.
Maybe. So,
yeah. And it was quite interesting because from the trailer, obviously, like, Sonic does a spin dash at him and he just holds his hand out, basically goes, "Does it look like I need your power?" And like hits Sonic on the head and knocks him out a bit. And some people, like, on social media, are like, "Whoa, what? How can he do that?" and stuff. But then other people were pointing out in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, at the opening bit, Sonic's in his supersonic mode from Sonic at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, flying along, and Knuckles jumps out and just knocks him out of supersonic mode. And it's like, it's in the canon basically. Knuckles can do that. Knuckles is powerful. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, good point. I like this. So yeah, I'm
caught the Knuckles too.
Yeah, like I think it's good that Sonic's not the only powerful being, as it were, in this. So I'm really excited for it. Yeah, it's good. It looks good. Yeah, awesome.
And I love also the fact that I forget the guy's name. It's Jim Carrey's kind of henchman in the first one.
Yeah.
That you remember how he talked about, because they had that one weird line where he's like, "Of course I want a cappuccino. I love the way you make them." Yeah. And now in this trailer was set up so good too. Like it was a perfect trailer for this movie. But you see him, he's like a barista now. Like he has his own coffee shop and stuff. And he's just, I guess, been waiting for robotics. Like, that is perfect. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff about this movie and why it makes it so fun. And so I'm excited for it. It's the kind of movie that I genuinely enjoy watching, and my kids really like too. So I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah. Quick question. What do you think is going to be better, Sonic Frontiers or Sonic the Hedgehog the movie 2, whatever?
Sonic the movie 2, without a doubt. Even if Sonic Frontiers is really good, I think the movie is like just the quality is going to be a lot better.
I reckon Sonic Frontiers is going to be the new Halo Infinite. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be amazing. It's going to blow everything out of the water.
The Halo Killer, Sonic Frontiers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's the Halo Killers. Yeah, so we kind of already done my number 3, because mine was also Sonic Frontiers. So should we go through your number 3? Your number 3. Oh, what is your number 3? I haven't actually said it up. Damn it.
God.
No.
I forgot to tell you. It's 11:06. So
here we are.
When I first started watching this, I went outside and like smoked a bowl. I may have smoked 2 bowls, maybe like a 2 for 1. And I came back in, and this was like, it started midway through, and I started seeing it. I didn't understand what was happening. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I just saw this like giant ogre with tar, and he's on fire, just ripping people apart. I'm like, it was pure chaos and like fear inducing. I was like, oh my God, what is happening?
Oh, wow.
And so I had to stop it and go back. And then I realized, it's a video game. It's not real life. Okay. It's not really.
You thought the Game Awards had been taken over by giants.
It looked like the most scary horror movie I'd ever seen, because it looked like Braveheart, but yet with a giant troll giant that's on fire killing everybody.
But wow.
The thing is, the reason why I love this, and then after I got beyond that panic attack induced fear, but I went back and bumped it back a bit and saw the introduction and everything. And what's neat is like, this is all rendered in the game. So this is not at all like FMV or any other stuff like we saw with, Sonic Frontiers. Like this is all done in game. And this is one of those games that I think this game looks better than any other game we saw.
We haven't actually said what the game is. I just realized we haven't actually said the name of the game. Chris, what is this game we're looking at?
Oh, God. Senua Saga Hellblade 2.
There we go. Thanks.
We'll start there.
Yeah.
I thought we did.
When the when the camera drops down at the start and like the rain falling, come down and look at her face. When I first saw that, I actually, for a briefest second, I was like, that just looks like real life video footage to me. Like it looked like an actor, and it looked like a real beach or whatever, in the rain and stuff. And I was like, whoa. And then it's sort of, it does, your eyes get used to it. Like, oh, this is CGI, but it's not CGI. Sorry, it's computer generate. It's a computer game. Even though it's in the real game. Sorry, people say CGI for the cutscenes. It's computer generated, but it's
sound like
in-game
me
stuff.
trying to explain the Matrix thing to my wife. It was terrible.
God. But yeah, I was actually blown away by this. This was like, because I think the graphics and stuff so far that I've seen on a lot of Xbox Series X and PS5 games look great. But this is one of the first ones that have been like, whoa, this is a new generation shit here. Like right here, this is amazing.
I agree. And that's what I was going to say, is that I think this looked better than any other game that I saw. This blew me away just from in awe of like what they've been able to accomplish visually with this game is amazing. With that said, I will say their game plan here of just throwing a bunch of flaming tar on a giant and just throwing these little spears at them is terrible. Might be on par with the game plan at the in the Game of Thrones when they went against the White Walkers of all time like worst military blunders.
Yeah,
this could be.
If we just charge at them, what can go wrong? And everyone just dies. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but like.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing is, I had to rewatch this, and I was listening to it the next time with headphones, because if you really pay attention, the giant that they're attacking, he's telling her and asking her to help him the whole time, and he's like reaching out to him. So it's like he's not trying to kill her; he needs her help or something. There's some weird stuff going on. I will say I've not played the first game. And so I have no idea what's happening here, but this trailer completely hooked me, and I definitely want to get into the series now.
Yeah, I own the game. I still haven't played it. I got it on my PS4. But yeah, I never actually bothered playing it, which is really annoying because that's one of the games that I like when I got the PS4. I was like, this is a game I really want to play. But yeah, I'd never got around to playing it. The interesting thing though is that I thought that this was I know it came out on PC a bit later, but I thought this was kind of like a PlayStation exclusive. But this was the Xbox advert for Hellblade 2. Like, so I didn't realize the series wasn't owned by Sony. If that's probably really stupid of me. I guess I don't really know enough about the series, but yeah, like it looks really good. It looks really good. I definitely want
Ninja Theory is the developer, and they're not.
I mean, they're the same team that did Ninja Gaiden, or was that a different team? Was that a different ninja team?
Different ninja team. They did Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. They did Devil May Cry.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought that they were.
Because Heavenly Sword's a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, it is. So this is Xbox bought them or Microsoft bought them.
I didn't realize they actually bought them. Wow. Oh, nice.
That was one of the big purchases that Microsoft they went on that spending spree.
Yeah, they did. So, Bethesda. Oof. I'm excited for any Bethesda stuff coming up.
All right. So yeah, that was my number 3.
That's I'm just addicted to the trailer now because it's awesome. But yeah, it's this looks like a really cool game. I'm very excited for this one. I'm just gonna have to go back and just play the original one. Fuck it, just go on PS4 and play it, I guess. Sorry, I was going to line up the next one, which is my number 4. Here we go. Okay, just lining it up now. So it comes basically straight after Forspoken. Yeah, Forspoken on the thing. So this, for me, I'm very excited about this game. I need to grab a prop here that I have next to me.
Say the game first this time.
Say the game first.
We didn't.
It's the sequel to one of my favorite games from last generation. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is what the game is, basically. So if you don't know about this game, I guess... hopefully you know about Warhammer. Hopefully you know about Warhammer 40k. But yeah, this is the Space Marine game, which is when the first game came out, everyone was comparing it to Gears of War because it's a third-person shooter. And you've got like a sword with a freaking chainsaw on it and stuff, and everyone's comparing it to that. The gameplay is so different. Yes, they're third-person shooters, but the gameplay is so different. The story was brilliant in the first one. I just thought the whole game was just so much fun. Like, was it the best game ever? Probably not. But I had so much fun with it. And I was dying for them to make a sequel. And then it's actually... the crazy thing is, it's Relic Entertainment who made the original, who is now owned by Sega. THQ was the publisher who went bust, and they got all their properties and stuff got bought out. So it was almost like, who would make this next game? Could it be Sega? Like, could Relic make the next one? But I don't think they actually had the license. And yeah, so it's not being made by Relic or Sega at the moment. But
Saber Interactive is the developer.
Yeah, Saber Interactive. Who actually owns I guess who actually owns?
Wait, is that that might? Are they the publisher or the developer on that one?
I thought they were the developer.
Yeah, it looks like they are. So, but yeah, it's funny because you said you mentioned the Gears of War thing. In my notes, I said still looks like Gears of War.
Oh god. The annoying thing is, though, these characters and stuff were established years before Gears of War, because Warhammer 40k has been around for, decades now, basically. And they've had, they've had sort of comic books, and they've had, movies and stuff about it. I am just very excited about this. It's so awesome. So...
I didn't. This one didn't even come close to my top 5, but I loved it though. I really thought that the trailer looks cool. I loved. What are these guys called? The big dudes? Your Spartans,
Space Marines.
Your Spartans, basically. When they come down and seeing how the aliens kind of take a step back and they're scared and they just cut through everything. I was like, damn. These dudes are coming in hard.
Yeah,
it was awesome. So I want to play it and check it out because I want to play some more Gears of War, and I don't know where we're going to be getting more Gears of War. So as long as it plays like Gears of War, Graham, I'll be fine.
Nothing like Gears of War. I'm just going to say that it's not a cover-based shooter. It's faster. It's smoother. It's awesome. That's the thing. It's a smoother gameplay than Gears of War, I'd say. I'm not saying Gears of War is a bad game. I enjoy Gears of War, but yeah, Space Marine blew my mind when I played
shit on Gears of War.
Damn right I am. I mean, Gears of War, you don't get a jetpack, which lets you jump around levels and stuff, which is awesome. So I hope that comes back in this game because that was so much fun. If you like going around in the grappling hook in Halo, go back and play freaking Space Marine. Yeah. Woo! So my light is shining on this. It's really hard to show it. But anyway, yeah. But yeah. Chris, what's the next game that you're going to talk about? What's your number? What are we on? Your number 2. Your number 2. Yeah.
My number 2, I'm going to say right up from the beginning, is Alan Wake 2.
Woohoo!
Man, Graham, this is a series that we have loved for a really long time. I remember when American Nightmare came out on the 360, we played that. I think there was some online functionality to that we played together. Even I want to say, wasn't there? Didn't it have some sort of online component that you could play some sort of multiplayer or something like that?
That weirdly rings a bell, but now I can't remember. Now you just said that.
Anyway, the point is that I love Alan Wake. You love Alan Wake. So I just didn't know if they were ever going to come back to this series again. But they announced it here, and they said this time it's going to be a survival horror game, whereas the last game was more of an adventure game. This is going to take more of the horror aspect into it, and holy crap, it looks awesome, dude. It's coming in 2023. There's not much else to say about it. But they did it. They did come in and confirm that the original actor of Alan Wake is going to be reprising his role as well. So that is good news.
The interesting thing about this is the original Alan Wake game was published by Microsoft, and it was Xbox exclusive, or PC as well, Xbox and PC exclusive. And they, back in 2013, they revealed a demo for Alan Wake 2 running on the Xbox One. And they're they're basically Alan Wake 2 is coming, and then it got cancelled, pretty much. And they focused on Quantum Break, which I thought was an awesome game, Quantum Break, but it didn't do so well, sales-wise and stuff. But yeah, Alan Wake 2, as you probably saw from the trailer, or anyone listening who hasn't seen the trailer, is actually on the PS5 and Xbox. So, it looks like Microsoft isn't publishing the game anymore. It's Remedy.
Because I think Remedy bought the series back from Microsoft or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that happened.
I think they reacquired it, and that's how they were able to do this, which, good for them. I'm glad that they have this series. And are they... I don't know who's publishing this. I wonder.
I think it's Remedy.
I wonder if maybe they're publishing themselves.
Yeah, because Remedy published the PC version themselves. So I've got a feeling Remedy might be just doing it all, baby. Why the bloody hell not? Because
was it Sam Lake, right? Is the guy who came out in
Sam Lake's the director, yeah. So he That I personally,
I
Alan
love the way
Wake.
he did it.
Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say? No, go for it.
I just said I love the way he did it here because he was basically like, look, I came all the way out here to show you guys this. It's all you're going to get for a long time because we're going dark and, we're just going to be working on the game. So this is it. And but they gave us a lot to go off in here. Like there's a lot to like kind of dissect in this trailer about like what, going to be happening in the next game and everything. I'm super excited to jump back into this
so
universe,
am I.
though.
Yeah, because Alan Wake is possibly, I think I've said this before on the show, my favorite game of that generation, like the Xbox 360 generation. To me, it blew my mind. It was one of the most entertaining games I've ever played. Like everything about it. Like I'm not a huge fan of horror games, and this is more of an action sort of psychological thriller game, but it does have horror elements in it. So I really enjoyed that. So it's going to be interesting with this new one if it's more purely horror, if I'm going to enjoy it as much. But I loved it. I love the story progression and the way the whole world is set up and everything, and just the gameplay. And yeah, I'm really excited to get more Alan Wake is what I'm after, baby. And the thing is, they created like a really good weather system for this game, which they didn't really get to use it so much within the world. But they showed like a tornado going through the world, and whenever it goes through, it like basically destroy the world in different ways. It's like all completely chaotic. They did that in like a tech demo on the E3s when the first Alan Wake came out. And I think there's something in the game that does do that, but it's not a big part of the game. So there's like, they basically built this engine to do all this crazy stuff. They didn't even get to use it in the final game, which is nuts. But yeah, I'm just very excited for this next one. It's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good. It could be the new Sonic Frontiers. This is the new Sonic Frontiers, Chris. That's what's happening.
It's the Sonic Frontiers killer now.
Oh, yeah.
We moved beyond the Halo killer. So Alan Wake 2 is going to be the Sonic Frontiers
that's
killer
what's
now.
happening.
Holy
That
crap.
is what's happening. Yeah, so that...
Wow.
And
There's
yeah,
a lot going on in this podcast.
Oh, yeah. And that's actually my number one as well. So that's my number one choice, Alan Wake 2. Super pumped for that. So yeah.
On the outline, it actually says Alan Wake 2 mofos.
Yes, it
with
does.
3 exclamation points.
Yeah. And my Space Marine 2 said Space Marine 2 bitches, because that's how excited I am about both those games.
Well,
yeah, let's move into your next
You gave
one.
us your number one. I guess that leaves mine. And
let's try and get this bad boy going. Okay, I'm going to bring it up.
I was trying to think of a fun joke to go there, but I can't think of anything funny. So I'll just go ahead and say it. Star Wars Eclipse.
Okay.
I've seen this trailer about 5 or 6 times now, and I get chills every single time I watch it. I think this is as Sinwa's or Hellblade 2, as good as it was, like visually, I think it was the best looking one. I think this was just the coolest trailer of the show, with these dudes banging those giant gongs and the way the eclipse like slowly fades in. I just think that's so cool looking. But I've been wanting to get back to kind of like the the Old Republic era, or the what do they call, or the High Republic era, I should say, of the Star Wars universe for so long, because I'm so bored of just the same Skywalker saga. I love in the books, like the Timothy Zahn books, or the Thrawn trilogy, just be able to go beyond what you see in the movies. That's one reason why I loved KOTOR so much, not to the Old Republic back in the days, because you were able to get beyond that and see all these different Jedi and other things that you never got to see in the movies. And this is exploring that finally in video game form on a console. I don't know if there ever did. I'm sure they may have on PC years ago, but looking at how good all the CGI and stuff in this trailer is, we were watching it. I showed it to my wife, and she thought it was a trailer for a new Star Wars movie.
Oh, wow.
It was all shot so well. It's just beautiful. All the different locations that you see, and different characters. There's some awesome looking things that are going on in here, and absolutely none of it looks like there's any gameplay at all here.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. This looks awesome, and I love Star Wars, and this is the kind of Star Wars stuff that I've been begging more for. Just that's one of my biggest criticisms of a lot of the movies lately. It's just it still evolves around the same characters and they can't move beyond it. And so I'm glad that LucasArts Games is doing that here with Star Wars Eclipse.
Do you know? Oh, sorry.
I was about to say that.
Okay.
Even better is one of my favorite developers, Quantic Dream, is behind it. They've been around for so long, even in the Dreamcast days. Which, Graham, I'll let you say it because I know you want to probably talk about it a little bit. They developed which game?
They developed the Nomad Soul, or Omicron, the Nomad Soul in America.
Wait, we're not supposed to do any COVID talk.
God damn it.
Stay on the Omicron. I'm sorry, I set you up for that one.
You did. You son of a gun. But yeah. I know they're one of your favorite developers. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's Chris aware of this knowledge.
You know what? It's great because they haven't had a chance to work on like a license I don't know if they've ever done it. I'm trying to think. The last few games, I don't think they did, because the last one was that cool detective.
Detroit's Become Human.
Android Detroit Become Human, right? And then before that, they did the ones with who's Elliot Page now? Right? They did the one with.
They did Beyond Two Souls, and they also did Heavy Rain as well.
Beyond Two Souls had.
Yeah,
the actor who's now Elliot Page.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so, that's correct. Yeah,
and so that was the last one I really played to completion. I played a bit of Detroit. What was it again? I forgot the name.
Detroit Become Human.
That's what it is. But I'm really interested because I do like the evolution of how Quantic Dreams has kind of evolved their style of game, and I think with Quantic Dreams, it's you either love them or hate them, those type of games. And there's a lot of people that don't like those type of games because they're light on gameplay, and it's more of a narrative and it's more cinematic. And some people just don't like that. For me, I freaking love it. I can't get enough of their stuff. And so I really like that. And I think their style of game fits perfectly with the Star Wars universe, because it would be really tough to try to. I wouldn't say tough, but I think it's gonna combine really well to have a really cool, almost chill type of game where I can go in there and explore this universe and all the different locations, because that's really what I want to be able to do. Is like to kind of walk around and explore and like talk to people and hear all the different accents and alien voices and things. Because that's honestly, I'll tell you what, that was one of my favorite things about Mass Effect 2.
Which I thought you were going to say that.
Going around like talking to all the aliens in the Citadel and stuff. If they could kind of get that vibe from Mass Effect 2 in Star Wars Eclipse, dude, I am all there.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I'd be interested to see which route they go down. If it's going to be more, sort of story driven, I guess, style of gameplay, or if it's going to be action. Because things like the Nomad Soul, for example, that had the Quantic Dream sort of vibe to it, but it was actually quite action oriented. You had a lot of the sort of, I want to say puzzle adventure types thing, which is kind of wasn't, but it kind of was. But it has a lot of action involved in it as well. And then you move on to like Heavy Rain, which is not so much in that way. That's more the way it's story driven and as the way the actions that you make in the game that progress the story. So I'm wondering how they're going to play it. If it's going to be more, because Star Wars is quite an action thing, but maybe it won't be.
I think I honestly believe it. And I just can't imagine that they would give them this IP and say, look at what you've done in the last few games. Don't do that. Do something different. I think they got this game because I think this is a progression. Because if you look at their games, it's trending towards that. If you look at Detroit Become Human, it's not going the opposite way, but it's just, I think, continuing to evolve the Quantic Dream style of game. And I think we're going to continue to see that with Star Wars Eclipse. So maybe we will see some more action-oriented combat stuff in it, but I think we'll still continue a lot on the narrative driven story and stuff like that. I think we'll see that, but I would be interested to see, because you don't want to make a boring Star Wars game, right?
Oh no,
because like they did show lightsaber duels between Jedi and things like that. But what's cool about it, and I don't know, and I'm sure there's like breakdowns on the story and like what's happening. I don't know any of that. I've literally just seen that one trailer like 5 or 6 times, like I said. But it looks at the end of it, if you notice, like those dudes like banging the gongs the whole time. At the end, they stop and turn around, and there's like this pool of like black goo.
Oh yeah.
And this like figure slowly rises from.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is. I assume that is like the birth of the first Sith or some weird thing like that.
Ooh.
That's what I got from it, and that could be super wrong with Star Wars lore and all that, I'm sure. But like I said, I don't know enough about it. But judging from the trailer, some dude coming out of that pit, I wouldn't want to hang out with him. I would probably not want to go grab lunch with that.
Oh, I would. I mean, if he's going to be like the next overlord of the universe, grab a beer, the dude. You know. It's going to be interesting. I'm definitely interested to see the story, and just touching on the whole story-driven thing versus combat. If you remember the original Knights of the Old Republic game, it didn't have a lot of combat within it. It felt more story-driven because the combat wasn't real time. It felt, it felt like it was a more story-driven game, that one. So it could still work. I think it was work.
That was a turn-based RPG, though. That was much different than that. And I mean, BioWare. I mean, that's where BioWare was like kind of cutting its teeth with what where they've come today. And so much like how BioWare has evolved their system of kind of their dialogue tree and how that has all evolved is super extensive now, but I think Quantic Dreams has kind of done the same thing with their format and style.
Yeah,
but
totally.
Interesting to see what comes from this.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 1, baby, Star Wars Eclipse.
Woohoo! Well, it's not Alan Wake 2, but I'm sure it will do.
So yeah, that was Game Awards.
That's our mini roundup. Yeah, we there's a lot of great stuff there. Like there's quite a few games I made notes of that I was like, oh, that looks cool. But I think those are the ones that really caught our eye, and that's what we're most excited for. Any future predictions on any of these games, or you just want to see how it plays out?
I'm wondering if any of these games that say they're coming out next year actually end up coming out next year. Sonic Frontiers late 2022, not happening. That's my first prediction.
Definitely going to happen.
Sonic
Definitely going to happen.
Delayed to 2023 at a minimum. I'm not talking shit on Sonic Team. I'm not trying to be that guy. All I'm saying though is I'm not even going to say that. Never mind. We're into the show. Take it easy.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. That's. I think with that does actually wrap up the main talk of the show. But what do you think of our opinions? Let us know. We're on various social media platforms, but check us out on Discord. We have a Discord channel. Let us know what you think of the show, or what you think of our opinions on any of these games. If you've played Halo Infinite, are you enjoying it as much as we are? Do you also not like The Witcher 3, even though I now like it? I've agreed on it. Just let us know.
Tell Graham why all of his game opinions are wrong.
Do that. Please tell me why all my game opinions are wrong. And did you enjoy the Game Awards? Or were you like me going, I don't enjoy it that much? I enjoyed the trailers. I enjoyed it to an extent that, yes, but I don't think I could have watched that live. That would have driven me nuts watching it live. The fact I could skip forward 5 seconds whenever anyone was accepting an award, I was like, yep, skip. Made it much better for me, Yeah.
Some of the performances were pretty good too. The Cuphead one. That was really cool. I like that. There were some really good ones. I can't.
It's annoying though that
good performances
on the GameSpot video that I think we both watched, a lot of the audio got cut out at points, and I think the audio got out of sync at one point. So some of the performances weren't really working towards the end. It was like, but some of the stuff was really cool. I'm not going to lie. I think the whole presentation was actually very well done. I think, as you said, it didn't feel, underwhelming, if that makes sense. I feel like it was very impressive for what it was. I just think I'm not that audience.
You just think it was whelming.
It was very whelming. It was very well.
Right.
Yes.
Graham was whelmed. Game Awards 2021, whelmed.
Yep. Perfectly whelmed. A perfectly whelmed performance. There we go.
That sounds gross. I don't.
It was a perfectly acceptable show. There we go. How's that?
There you go. It's very British of you.
Better than some other shows. Anyway, right, Chris, have you got any last minute things before we go?
I would just say, once again, go check out the Patreon, www.patreon.com/megavisions, where you can sign up to get issue 2. Like I said, we showed off the cover. We're well into doing design and layout on that right now. And so it's going to be coming out in February. Don't wait. Just jump on now. If you want to go get back issues, also go to our website, megavisions.net. And there's a shop, little link at the top. Click that, and you could buy back issues of issue 1. We still have back issues of our OG issue 9 and 8. I think we have a few left of issue 8. And yeah, there's also, I want to send a shout out, like I like to do, to our web team, our news writing team, because they've still been cranking out stories every day. And we've kind of moved beyond just the Sega stuff now. We're covering all of the retro gaming industry, and we're covering certain aspects of like modern gaming, like the bigger games that have a strong tie to the old stuff, like your Halos, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighters. We cover that stuff as well. So check out all the great content that they're doing. Lots of good stuff there. Megavisions.net.
Yeah, and you're also available on all the various social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just at Megavisions or at Megavisions Mag, you'll find us. Yeah, brilliant, cool. And with that, I guess let's go play some Halo.
Let's do it.
Yeah, can't wait till the co-op comes out next year, Chris. We're going to be co-oping the shit out of that. So
whenever, I hope everyone else was properly whelmed during the listening and watching of this episode.
Fantastic. Yeah, so do I. Perfectly acceptable show. Anyway, have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend, and be excellent to each other.
Honey, I gotta tell you about this sandwich.
Chris, say something?
Hello.
Oh my God, Is that working? Scotty, is this working?
Is that working now? Uh-oh.
I literally created a new audio channel with exactly the same settings as the other audio channel, and it works. That makes no sense. The settings are literally identical. For God's sake. Oh my God. Do we need to start the show again, Chris? No one's actually heard anything that you've said, so...
Yeah, we probably should. Let's just... we'll start from the top.
I think we should do. We could just very quickly do that if you want to.
That's fine. Let's do it. Yeah, because I would like to talk to people about what we showed, and we have no audio for that, so we should absolutely go back. Let's just do it.
Let's down and then up, and hello everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Megavision Show.